Good morning. You want to see how we made these two white work tables? Stay tuned, because that's what we're going to do today. Good morning. Welcome to another Memphis Monday. Memphis Monday 298. I guess the 38th week of our 6th year. Today, a friend of mine asked if she's a work-at-home person, and she needs some work tables to set up her little office. And I said I'd make them, and she wanted them painted white. So that's going to be a new thing for us, but we're going to pre-paint them and put them together already painted. So let's knock off that chit-chat and get to work. Here's a little drawing of our work tables. The legs and frame will be poplar, and the top will be pre-primed 3/4 inch plywood with poplar trim around the edges. And this is also my cut list. We really only got 3 or 4 parts. There's the plywood top, the taper on the legs, and the frame here is going to be 4 inches wide. And the trim around there is going to be 1 inch. Okay, let's get to it. This is the stock for the legs. This is enough stock to make 9 legs. We're making 2 tables, so we have an extra section that we'll be using for the table jig. But right now, let's go on to the table tops. These tables are going to be white, so I'm going to paint all the parts before assembly. What I'm doing here is putting some primer down. I bought pre-primed wood wherever I could. This is pre-primed plywood, and now I'm priming the poplar trim. Goes around the edge. I got the legs cut out, all 8 of them, and they're 2 1/4 square. And remember I said I was going to make 9. Let me show you the 9th one. The 9th one will be incorporated in our table jig, which we're going to be building in a few minutes. And I want the stock for the little stumps to be exactly the same size as my legs. Here I'm making table jig. You can see here that the taper is going to start about 3/4 of an inch in, and then it'll go straight through here, and it's going to stop just before the 4 foot or 4 inch mark down here. So the taper starts right here, and here's the 4 inch mark. As that taper is going to come out, it's going to finish right here. And then to lock this in place while you're cutting it, I put these little blocks in here. Screw them down. Just like that, and I'll screw those down. I can use the toggles then to hold the piece in place. Now my dogs don't press down enough. They're not long enough to hold this. I could cut down this block, but I don't want to do that because sometimes I use this tapering jig for bigger legs, and I need this tall thing. So I can put these wedges underneath to hold the stock. Let's give this thing a whirl. Now to set this up, first I'll undog my leg, take it out, and then this tapering jig, you want it to be exactly on that fence, just like that. Okay, now just dog my piece in. Okay, now run it through. Okay, I cut off my first little wedge here. Now what I'll do is undog it. I'll put that wedge back on it, just how it came off. Then I'll flip it over on its side. Make sure that wedge is just right. Okay, so now my wedge is under here. It's going to be tapered on 2 sides, the inside corners. So then what you get, like 3 wedges. And dog it. And there's you got this big wedge, tiny wedge, and this wedge. I used to save these but I never used them for anything and finally threw them away. You're tempted to keep them because they're kind of cool, but. Okay, here's our tapered legs. Tapered leg. It's tapered on this side, tapered on this side. That means this is the inside corner right here. So what I'm going to do is make a little witness mark right here. It tells me that is the inside corner. That's important when we go building the table. Okay, I'll go ahead and taper the other legs and we'll be on a roll. Well, I got the legs painted. What I did is I screwed them to the top of that workbench, make them easier to paint. And I got that top over there painted. And I got this top over here painted, and I put together the assembly jig, the table jig. And unlike some of my other table jigs we've done, this one, you can see put it together with screws instead of nails, because I'm making two tables, and so I need to be able to take this one apart without killing it. And another thing here is I've extended my table jig into the center here. This is actually a jig for where the drawer is going to go in. We're going to put I think it's about 17 inch wide center drawer, and I think it's 16 deep or something. Those will go in there like that. Now my friend I'm making these tables for wants the table to be white. She's going to be using them as work tables. I think this is 5 1/4. It's primed on both sides, and we're going to be making the frame out of this. We will cut the pieces and also paint them before we assemble anything. Now what I got to do is take these these are actually prime pine, and prime pine is actually one of the most expensive common woods. It has no knots in it, and it's been primed. I've got to cut it down to 4 inches. The way I figured, I need about 310 linear inches of wood to make both frames, which is a little over 3 boards. But I got 5 of these. I'm going to cut them all 5 down because I have to make 2 drawers, and then I have the corner braces also. Well, I got those all, the edges round over, and I put a little paint on them. Now we can come over to our jig here and make some frame parts. Since we're making 2 tables, I think I'm going to try to make 2 pieces for each one of these holes. That never seems to work, but we're going to give it a try anyway. So this is 12 5/8. So there's my two frame pieces I cut out. Okay, now each one of these frame pieces need pocket holes. Let's give that a whirl. Now I want to make some, use some pretty good sized screws in this. So I've got my pocket hole jig set up to where it makes the hole pretty high up on the board. How this works is then this piece goes right in here, and since we have this jig, everything's square and it's plumb and everything's aligned. What I'm doing is giving this a try, make sure I haven't miscalculated something here, because I don't want these screws to pop through on the front side. Okay, I guess that's going to do it. I'm installing the last of the screws for the frame here. The next operation is we've got to make some corner blocks for the legs. And the reason I'm making a big deal about it is this frame is quite a bit wider than we usually make, and so we're going to have to probably make some jigs. So we'll see. So the first jig is this stop block here. It's designed to hold the corner block in place because when you cut these things, they're up on end and they get wacky on you. So this holds the thing in place and also serves as a stop block. So let's give this a try. Well, I went ahead and put those corner blocks in. I went with the 3/4 inch, some real good 1/4 inch or 3/4 inch pine plywood exterior. Some real strong stuff. I thought it'd be stronger than this pre-painted pine here, and it won't crack and stuff. I'm kind of rushing along because I want to see. I want to take this table jig off, and and see what the legs are going to look like. So I'm going to take this table jig off, and we'll be on a roll. If anything exciting happens, I'll let you know. Okay, the moment of truth. In addition to having the screws down into the tabletop, I put these screws in the corners, on all the corners, so that I can take this thing apart if I have to. Let's see if we can see what happens here. Probably need to take this front part off. Okay, take this front part off, hopefully. Now the legs go on with these things are called hanger bolts. They got a wood thread here, and on this end they have just a bolt. They have to put a hole that cuts 45 degrees through your leg to get that to work. And I do it with this little 45-degree wedge here, and I can put my piece in there, get where I want it, and that'll hold it so that it'll go through exactly the right angle. Now to put this in, you can put it in, you gotta have the pilot hole we just drilled, but you can use vice grips, just grab it around here. That's the way I've done it before. But today I'm gonna show you the right way to do it, which is to put some jam nuts on there and screw it in this way. This is the correct way to do it, but the other way works too. Okay, then you just take your leg and put it through there, through that hole. Big washer, lock washer, and bolt. And just tighten it down. I put the other 3 legs on there, but before we flip it over on its business end, we'll put together our drawers. My friend only wants 1 drawer, so on each table. These are my favorite kind of drawers to make anyway. I said these drawers are my favorite kind. And the reason is, one of the reasons, they're very strong. I can't even get this thing out now. These panels here, they slide into these dados, and then you slide it in, and then this end down here is cut down so that you just tack it right across the back here. Otherwise, you'd have to slide the box in, get this panel trimmed exactly the right size so it would fit in this back dado. This way cuts all that out. I temporarily attached the drawer front. Now let's take it off the bench, and we'll attach the drawer front permanently to the box. Hope I can get it down without wrecking it, scratching the paint. What's the best way to do this? Now I can attach the drawer front. Using pocket hole screws. I've been using these a lot lately. I got big heads on them. Makes them perfect for putting these in. Remember how we do this. This black dot right there is a drywall screw. I like drywall screws because they have very tiny core and they're very rough, so they dig in. They're great for holding projects together temporarily. Okay, I take that out. Now I got my drill, which I'll go all the way through into the box. Now I have one of these adaptable screws to hold my little knob. It's adjustable because the ones they give you when you buy these, they never seem to work for me. They never, they're always too long or too short. So now I just bring this thing out and let me show you how it works. I'll get a close up. I think I saw it focus. These close-ups sometimes didn't want to focus because it doesn't know what to focus on. It doesn't know if it's supposed to focus here, or whatever. Okay, but you can see the little ridges. We only need that. You only need that one of these things. So push it in. For the one you want to take out, and you just break it off. Made my hole too big. Okay, now my knob should fit right on there. Okay, I got all the parts for the second table all laid out here, and there's the table jig, there's the box, there's the drawer front over there, there's the drawer slides on the table. Okay, in 1 second, I'll have both tables assembled. 1, 2, 3, now. Well, there's our 2 tables for Memphis Monday 298. They're about 30 inches tall. Got pull-out drawers, 100% pull-out drawers. Completely painted. We painted it before we assembled it. Plywood tops. Everything else is poplar. Overall, pretty satisfied. Well, that does it for another Memphis Monday 298. Today we built 2 work tables, pre-painted them white, very good paint. It covered really well. Primed it with, the wood was already primed, but we primed it anyway with some real good primer. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied. I think next week we're going to have to make another table. It'll be another white table, only it's going to be square. So I'm almost sure that's what we're going to do next week, but don't hold me to it. Okay, do whatever you do on the internet, and but make sure you comment. I love to read your comments and all that stuff. So like, share, favorite, all the stuff you do. Most important, make sure you stand by for next week's Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.